Welcome to section 1.1. This is the first session of the ISACA CISA exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover the foundations of an information systems audit. We'll answer 5 questions. What rules must an auditor follow? What guidance helps them apply those rules? What ethical duties do they carry? What framework ties it all together? And how is an audit team set up inside an organisation? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because these ideas make your audit opinion trustworthy. Picture 3 jobs: reviewing a hospital's patient records, signing off on a retailer's payment platform, advising a startup on its cloud setup. The same principles decide whether people can rely on your work. Get them right and your findings carry weight. Get them wrong and even correct findings can be challenged. So what exactly is an information systems audit? It's an independent, evidence-based check on the systems that run the business. And here's a distinction worth keeping. You audit the information system, not just the technology. That means the people and processes around the tech too. So what does the auditor actually look for? Do the systems follow the law and internal policies? Is the data kept confidential, accurate, and available? Is the technology delivering real business value efficiently? Think of it as a health check built on evidence. The auditor gathers proof. The auditor weighs how strong the controls are, then reports what needs fixing without taking sides. How does an audit flow from start to finish? Most audits move through 3 phases. First comes planning. You decide what to examine and why. Second comes fieldwork. You collect and document the evidence. Third comes reporting and follow-up. You share what you found and check that fixes happen. Picture a new online booking system. In planning, you scope the risky areas. In fieldwork, you test bookings and payments. In reporting, you flag the gaps and confirm they close. What keeps every auditor working to the same level? Standards. Standards are the mandatory requirements. They are the things an auditor must do. They set the minimum level of acceptable work. They tell management what to expect. And they define the professional bar for the certification. Think of the rules of the road. Speed limits and red lights are not suggestions. Audit standards work the same way. So how are these standards organised? They come in 3 layers. At the top sit the standards themselves. They are mandatory. Below them sit the guidelines. They explain how to meet the standards. At the base sit tools and techniques. These are worked examples you can borrow, but don't have to. And what do the standards actually cover? They sort into 3 families. General standards cover ethics, independence, and competence. Performance standards cover planning, evidence, and judgment. Reporting standards cover how results are communicated. So if standards are mandatory, what are guidelines? Guidelines are the how-to layer. They don't invent new rules, they help you apply the existing ones. An auditor should consider them, an auditor should use professional judgment, and an auditor should explain any time they take a different path. Say a standard tells you to gather sufficient evidence. A guideline helps you decide what sufficient means. That's useful when you're testing something like a cloud backup. What about how an auditor should behave? That's the job of the Code of Professional Ethics. The code sets a few clear duties. Work with objectivity and due care. Serve stakeholders lawfully. Protect the confidentiality of what you learn. Take on only the work you're competent to do. and report findings honestly, even the uncomfortable ones. Suppose you audit a department led by a close colleague. You find a serious control gap. The code is what tells you to report it plainly. Is there one framework that pulls all this together? Yes. It's a reference model called the Information Technology Assurance Framework. It spells out the auditor's roles and skills, it sets expectations for conduct and reporting, and it offers practical guidance for running an assignment. You don't need to memorize its structure, just see it as the umbrella over good audit practice. How does an audit function live inside an organization? It starts with an audit charter. What is a charter? It's a document approved by the board or the audit committee. It grants the audit team its authority, mandate, and independence. A charter covers the whole audit function. An engagement letter is narrower. It zooms in on one specific audit. Think of the charter as a passport. The engagement letter is the ticket for one trip. So how do you keep that audit function healthy? You manage it well. Protect the team's independence. Keep skills current as technology shifts. Plan training for new areas like artificial intelligence or cloud platforms. And what if a job needs expertise the team doesn't have? Say a factory audit needs an industrial control systems specialist. The auditor can bring in an outside expert. But here's the catch. You can delegate the work, but not the responsibility. The auditor still supervises the expert, and the auditor stands behind the final result. So let's bring it together. Standards are the must-dos. Guidelines show you how. The code of ethics guides your conduct. The assurance framework is the umbrella over all of it, and a clear charter with skilled people holds the function together. Master these foundations and the rest of the series will fall into place. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.